Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss this Cardano content. So what I'm going to do today is it's all going to be about price. Looking at what is a realistic expectation for the Cardano ADA price for the month of August. So we'll take a look back at some of the previous hard fork events, how the price has reacted in the lead up to them, and then retrace that onto the charts to see where we could potentially be by the time we come to the Alonzo hard fork, hopefully at the end of August or very early September. Anyone new, a hard fork event is basically a major upgrade to the network. And the next one, Alonzo, is what is going to give us smart contracts on the mainnet. If you get some value, please do share this out there. Give the video a like or leave a comment down below. All of that really does help. Now, let's jump into it. Okay, so first off, we'll take a quick look at where we are right now. So this is the daily chart for ADA. Right now, things looking okay. What we're looking at is coming up to test the $140 level, which previously we have found a bit of support and resistance at this level. You can see, if we look at the 4 hour, actually, I think it shows it better. You can see that up here, we got rejected down, didn't quite reach it here, and currently looking to see, can we push up towards it again? You can see back here, it's been a resistance level. Back here, once again, resistance, resistance. Got briefly above it, small bit of support, but fell straight back down. So 140 is what we're looking at right now, looking to probably get some resistance at that level. This was the downtrend that we were in. That is now gone, so we don't need that. Short term, what we're looking at is trying to push up through this $140 level, but overall things looking fairly good. If we look at yesterday, there was an announcement about ADA being listed on another exchange. Now, what is significant, I suppose, about this one is Bitpoint, not an exchange I know much about, but it is a Japanese exchange, and out there regulation is a lot tighter, so only a few assets actually get listed on exchanges. So great to see that Cardano is being accepted out there now. It's set to be listed towards the end of August, so we'll wait and see what types of volume that might actually bring to the charts as well. So now let's look back at what has previously happened at some of the other hard fork events. So I've drawn a few bits onto this chart and I will take you through it now. So first off, looking back to last year, the Shelly hard fork, which is where that brought staking to the Cardano network, you can see in the 30 days before the launch, the price went up by 113%. So if we then go on to the Mary hard fork, which brought native assets on chain for Cardano, you can see that we went up a massive 348% right up to the peak of this. So if I zoom in, you'll be able to see this a bit better. So from the 30 days out from the event, you can see we went up, actually that's probably because of February, that's probably only 28 days, 29 with the first. You can see the peak of this was 348. If we pull it back down to probably a more realistic where we settled more so was 283. We'll leave it up here at the peak just for now. So again, a really huge rally for the ADA price. Again, people who follow the channel here know that I look at the ADA BTC charts a lot. So if we take a quick look at how them events look for the ADA BTC chart as well, you can see against anyone new, this is the price of ADA against Bitcoin. It's a chart I think everyone should keep an eye on because you always want to see that in the long term, in the big picture, your coin is growing at a faster rate than Bitcoin. So you can see we got an 81% gain against Bitcoin for the Shelly hard fork last year. And then for the Mary hard fork, 210% in a month against Bitcoin was a huge gain. So if we look at what that could look like for us now, let's go back to the ADA USD chart first, and then we'll come back to the ADA BTC one. So looking at the ADA USD chart, I can remove this downtrend as I done on the other chart. You can see what I've got here is some bars. So these haven't happened yet, but where they come from is what I've done is I copied the bar pattern from this, I suppose, this explosion in growth on the Cardano chart. I've copied the bar pattern here and just placed it down here to see what could potentially happen if we got a similar type growth leading up to the 31st of August, which is what Charles has said is a tentative date for smart contracts, with the 10th of September then bringing a lot more of the tooling on chain then as well. Now 31st, I would take this as very tentative. We'll see how this goes throughout the month. That I would nearly expect that to get pushed out by 5 or 10 days. The reason for 5 or 10 days is because the upgrades have to come in line with the epochs, because that's when the software can be upgraded. So let's take a look. If we look at this here, you can see with the bar chart, if we follow the exact same pattern, it's, I don't know if this is coincidence or what you would actually call this, but if you look at the peak of where this would take us, it would actually take us right up to the $2.51 ADA, which was this here, which was the spike up just before the hard fork. That will bring us up to what is the all-time high. It will bring us up to pretty much exactly test what the all-time high for ADA is. I think a 250 ADA before the launch of smart contracts is very, very realistic. Look, it's not a huge leap in the crypto world to look at. That's just about the 2x looking at it here. That's not taking into account where we got a 300% growth for the, now the reason that it's different on this, that's not taking into account this 340, 350% growth. We'll look at what that could potentially look like now in a minute, but just following the same type of bar pattern, which looks at how much the price moves, you can see that would bring us to a $250 ADA, which I think definitely realistic. Earlier in the year when things were in full bull mode, I was thinking potentially $3 to $5 was on the more realistic side of what I was seeing. People were out there calling some crazy numbers, but 3 to 5 seemed realistic. I think now the 3 to 5 is pushing the upper limits of what's possible. I would say $250 to $3 ADA is definitely possible in the current market, as long as the complete bottom doesn't fall out of it. We see all the FUD that's out there at the minute with, well, it's not FUD, it's actual what the US and the SEC are looking to do with regulation. It's something I need to dig into more before I can put a video out on it. But if some serious regulation, if that was really stepped up, that could hamper a lot of the growth in the crypto market. But outside of some major events like that, I see ADA being able to move on its own for this month anyway, with the big event happening. But as with all events within crypto, we're going to see buy the rumor, sell the news. When we do get smart contracts, I would expect a pullback in the market. Then in the price, you will see some people who will get in the run up for smart contracts, who will just be in for a while and then they'll sell out. In the day or two before smart contracts, we may see the markets start to pull back for about a week. And as I've said from the beginning, what is important then is to see what actually launches on chain, what actually comes out and builds on top of Cardano. What type of projects do we see actually launching? Do they work? How well do they work? Does it work as well as we all think and hope that they will? So again, there's lots of factors there. And when we do get that pullback, I'll be looking at how quickly it's actually bought up, because you want to look at where does it actually find support? Where are we actually getting the support to push it back up to the upside? And then again, it will look at where is the overall market at that stage. Are we still in bullish territory for the crypto market? Again, people don't like it that we are so correlated to Bitcoin, but in general, right now, most assets in the cryptocurrency space are correlated to Bitcoin in the bigger picture. When you have events like this coming up for Cardano, there definitely is room to be able to, I suppose, uncouple from Bitcoin for a short period of time, get a huge growth, and then come back into October timeframe. We probably will be a bit correlated back there as well. So if we did look at something like that, 300% growth, again, I think that's very extreme right now in the current market conditions. If we look at this, now if we look at hitting that high, that will be an 88% growth. To me, very achievable. But let's look at what this 300% would look like. As you can see, it's starting to get extremely big at this stage. If you look at, I think 280 was where it kind of settled. So we'll look at that. That would bring us up to around that $5 ADA. Right now, when you look at that chart though, that would be fairly extreme growth. So when you start to see people with these huge price predictions, just come in and look at the daily chart, which is the overall growth, and look at what a steep curve that would be in 30 days. Is it possible? nothing's impossible in crypto, and if we got a lot of good news leading up to this, then anything is possible. But I would say these are extreme cases, and if we go the full way to the 340%, in around here, what was it, 348, somewhere around there, would bring us up to a $6 ADA. So I think that is achievable at some point in time, but before Alonzo and everything like that, I don't see that as an achievable target. Breaking the current all-time high of 252 or in around that is definitely something I see as achievable. So then let's take a look at the ADA BTC chart. As you can see here, let's have a look at how the bar pattern would look on this. So if actually in the big picture, you can see we just about held the long-term uptrend on ADA BTC. We got the bounce here, which was, again, it was set by the starting point here and the first touch on the support line here. So you can see when we come down here, we got the bounce basically right on the support line. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few days. If we do take the copy of the bars here and place them down on top of this, you will see that it would have, what's interesting to see on this actually is when I hover over blue, I'm not sure how clear this will be in the video, but you can see the first two candles have actually played out basically exactly like the previous ones in the Mary hard fork in the run up to it. So let's see, do we get two more red candles, I would say, for the ADA BTC chart before starting the real run up? And again, this run up here would bring us all the way up past the 5,000 sats level. Again, 5,000 to 6,000 sats level is where I have been talking about seeing the price in around the smart contract launch. So again, this pattern here would back that up, that is the type of area we could look at seeing ADA in. So again, at its peak, it will be up to 5,500 sats. So again, pulling back down to in around the 5,000 sats as we settle on the price. And that's where you would expect a bit of a pullback in the market after that. So again, you could put the 210% growth on this, but I think that once again, like I've shown on the ADA USD price, I think that is a bit extreme right now. Definitely going to be an interesting 30 days ahead. I will revisit these charts to see how things are playing out. And look, these are not, nobody's got a magic ball to tell you that the price is going to follow this pattern exactly and it's going to end up here. This is just looking at what has previously happened to show what may be possible. Again, I feel very, very bullish on what is going on with Cardano. Lots of the projects I see building, both building in public and building in the shadows right now that are getting ready to launch. I think we are in for a very interesting 30 days on top of Cardano. Hopefully a very profitable 30 days for everyone involved, as well as the rest of this year into next year looks extremely bright for people holding ADA and Cardano. As always, not a financial advisor. These are just my own thoughts that I'm sharing out there. Have to throw that in there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I will try and put in a bit more content like this as time goes forward if you guys are interested in it. So let me know below, share it out there, give it a like, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the support.